Right, ready to do evening whistle. Chat about Michail Antonio. The news obviously come out today by John Percy. How's everyone doing? Let me know in the comments about Michail Antonio. Would you take him? Would you not? Let's see who's in then. Who is in the chat? Guys, remember to always hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it if you can. Hello, Phil. How are we? Good to see you in as always, mate. Yeah, we'll be on here for a bit. How are we, Sean? Hope you're good, mate. Kyle, hello. Craig, hello. Yeah, we thought we'd do a live rather than a StreamYard YouTube thing. Evening, the True Red. If everyone can hit a like on this, you can also become a member, by the way, which is £1.99, I believe it is. So if anyone wants to become a member of the team, feel free. You get your own emojis and that and all that. Shout outs and everything like that in there. £1.99, which is obviously on the YouTube channel now. You don't have to. But yeah, let me know. Big up Carl, who's the top fan at the minute. Hey Jack, mate, how you doing? I'm shocked that Antonio trains with Leicester, and also another shot that Salah is in the squad with Liverpool for the Brighton game. Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it, regarding obviously Mo Salah in that. The Olney slot situation drags on. But then Michail Antonio training with Leicester City, proven goal scorer. He obviously hasn't played for a bit, obviously that incident that happened last year with him. But do you know what? I think he's one that is proven to score goals. I'd rely on him scoring goals. Then obviously our current strikers at the minute. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on Michail Antonio. Obviously he has trained with Leicester City. And I think it's one that I think the fans could get behind. Obviously it's a bit split at the minute regarding obviously how long we offer him, how much wages you pay him and all that. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see to see what happens. I thought this was a TikTok, then the way it is started tapping the screen. No, it's not a TikTok. It's a YouTube live. We're just going to try different strategies and that to really get everyone involved. How are we, Sean? Hope you're well, my friend. Hello. Hope you're good. I see Antonio potentially being a player that for me is a rotation player for Fatawu. A pay-as-you-play, it's a no-brainer for Antonio. Do you know what, Scott? He'd score more goals than our current strikers put together, I reckon. Michail Antonio. He's a unit up front. He really is. He'll bully defenders in the Championship, no doubt. You know, he's good, proven goal scorer for West Ham. Obviously got Championship experience as well with his time at Forest, Sheffield Wednesday and Reading. So he's been around the block a bit, Antonio, regarding the leagues. I think he's someone that can offer the experience and given the chance up front, I think he'd take his chances quite well. Hi Jack, this is shocking for me, but we'll see what happens in January. Yes. I like Antonio with both Forest and West Ham, but with Leicester, see if it's happening. He'll get a short-term deal and will officially retire after the... Yeah, unfortunately, had to sell Antonio. We was in a financial ruin under transfer embargo, under Fawaz. We needed money. Antonio was our most sellable asset, sold to West Ham for around £7 million. The rest is history. Interesting. Probably do a pay-as-you-go deal. You make it sound like a bloody mobile phone deal. Pay as you go. What have you got to lose? Can't be worse than Uncle up front. Jordan Ayew's not a striker, is he? Obviously scored this season 2 penalties and 1 normal goal. You know, it's worth a shot on a short-term deal. Yeah, he obviously knows where the goal is. And this is what it is. He's been an absolute pain in the arse for Leicester over the years, Michail Antonio. Always loved the goal against us. I believe he got a hat-trick against us once. It might have been when we played West Ham a couple of years, few years back. Yeah, he is a good goal scorer, and for me, I'd say it's a no-brainer with the current strikers we've got. Daka just isn't good enough. He's obviously scored one. Obviously, he's going to the AFCON. We will obviously need to get money for these players who are out of contracts at the end of the season's dealings. And then we've got Uncle Ayew, Jordan Ayew. It's not really blessed to get you 20 goals a season. But then you look at Carranza. I wanted it to work out for Carranza, but I just don't think he's good enough. I don't, honestly. It just hasn't worked out. And maybe this is why he's not playing. Evening Blue, how are we? 10 goals this season from him, even at 36 in the league. No, I agree, Scarlett. Did you hear that FIFA increased the tickets for the World Cup? It's embarrassing. It really is embarrassing, this whole World Cup prices and that. The thing is with football these days, they're pricing out the fans. And yeah, it's not good. It really isn't good. Our top scorer in the 14-15 season with 14 goals. Sean, you're speechless. Everyone tap the like button. Share it. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. Hello, Shah. How are we, mate? Hope you're good. Good to see you in, mate. If you're new around here, please hit the subscribe button, mate. It'd help me out massively. Hit the like button as well. Stinger, how are we, pal? Hope you're good. If you're new around here, Stinger, tap the like button on this video. And yeah, subscribe if you can, mate. It'd be appreciated. Craig Gilbert, how are we, pal? Shout out to you, mate. It's good to see you in as always, Craig. But no, this Antonio situation is, obviously he hasn't played, has he, since the incident regarding his car crash last year. So will he come back the same player is the question. Obviously, you know, Michail Antonio before, pace, boss defenders, scored goals. What did he score? He's West Ham's top scorer now, is he, in history? So he's proven. And in the Championship, I don't see where it wouldn't be a good signing, to be fair. We are missing that little bit up front. And he can obviously play on the wing. He can play up front, which, you know, that's what we're missing. Bit old, but you know, he's still got a knack of goals, I reckon, Michail Antonio. Antonio is a good goal scorer. It is a no-brainer, with the only problem is he was at Forest. Yeah, Michael, we just need to put that aside, mate. Let's not worry about that. Vardy 2.0. Yeah. Hey, up, Tribe. The voice of reason isn't in tonight, mate, I'm afraid. He does pass his regards on to you and Mrs. Tripe Onions. We have missed you in shows where you haven't been in, of course. It's no longer January. You'd like to sign January. Any good share? Do you know what? Joel Pirro from Leeds, he wouldn't have been a bad shout. Obviously, Leicester were linked with him, wasn't they, before he went to Leeds United, the former Swansea forward. He wouldn't have been a bad shout in the Championship. Better than Carranza, it'd be a good signing. And Daka, Michail Antonio. Antonio scored on his debut against Blackpool. Oh, was that for Forest, was it? Interesting take. A very interesting take. Welcome everyone to the live. We really appreciate you all coming in. Obviously, it is short notice that we have done this thing. It wasn't a planned thing, but we normally do the whole TikTok lives and that. But we thought we'd bring the live to YouTube tonight, where it wasn't a planned set show. Obviously, we do have the streams on a weekly basis. The Championship predictions with Stephen Rich. We obviously have the match previews as well, which are live on the channel now. So go and check them out. Championship predictions we set at 60 likes, so if you're not hitting the like button, you're slacking. But no, we do appreciate the support. Everyone who comes in, watches the shows, the match day vlogs, and just enjoy it. Dal, how are we, mate? Hope you're well. Good to see you in as always. I think you was in last night, by the way. Might have lost the yard of pace, but he'll dominate defences. Would be seeds good as wingers, whipping in the crosses. Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Katie, no, I'm not. Are you live on TikTok? No, I'm not. I'm live on YouTube, Katie. I'm live on YouTube. So, yeah, good to see you in as always. It's good to see you in, Katie. Obviously, Katie is a member, so shout out to Katie. Obviously, you get shout out. Members get shout out. Priorities and that with obviously comments and that. So if you're not a member and you want to become a member, it is just $1.99. It does support the channel and that. And yeah, if you guys want to become a member, feel free. I think we've got 4 members already since we've opened it up about a week ago. So yeah, it's great to see you guys supporting the channel and that. We really appreciate it. So like and share all. Yeah, hello Alfie, how are we? Why Cifuentes didn't like Winks. Harry Winks is it's a difficult one. It really is. Good player, not great attitude is what I'd say about Harry Winks. Problems like Ruud van Nistelrooy's had with him, Marty. It's not good. It really isn't. And nobody's bigger than the club. The thing is, these players have come in with a mentality, some of them this season, of we shouldn't be playing in the championship. We're not championship players. Well, you are championship players because you got relegated for a reason, because you wasn't good enough last season. So you either get down with it and get us working again, or you just basically piss off and take your last 6 months of the contract elsewhere and we can move on your wages. So for me, if we can get money for Winks in January, it's a no-brainer for me. And other players are obviously out of contract as well, so we've obviously got to look at them, the Dakas, the Samares, obviously Ricardo's out of contract, Jordan Ayew. There's a fair few of them. I think it's about 7 in total, but if players don't want to be here, then no one's bigger than the badge. No one's bigger than the club. I'm coming for you this weekend in the predictions, and Dino. So many injuries this season. Good, mate. Yeah, I'm all right, thank you. Driving a striker that can't score from 18 yards. Winks Spatty's done me out when Enzo left and not been the same since. Sell him in January. The thing is, Scarlett, you say that. Harry Winks were fantastic when he came in. He absolutely loved it under Enzo. Leicester fans showed him the affection and that, and absolutely loved him, adored him that season. And then when things started getting tough, and Leicester fans with constructive criticism and letting him know that they wasn't happy with performances and that, it wasn't working, he didn't like it. Did not like it one bit. When things got tough, he didn't like it. And this is what it is. But this is modern day footballers. This is what they do. Remy, how are we? Hope you're good. Come on, Leicester. 2-2. Yeah, I've got a draw tomorrow. What's everyone's prediction for tomorrow's game against Ipswich? What do we think? Obviously, the last 2 first halves have been good. Not quite second halves. Marty spoke about in his press conference today the case of we need to see a 90-minute performance. And against Bristol City, when you're setting up defensively, getting outfought by other managers and that, and you then set up negatively and throw that game away, that's on the manager. I'm sorry, it's on the manager. The manager sets them up. And, you know, you can sit there all he likes and say, yeah, but I set them up to go and get a 3rd goal. I didn't think you did. We sat back. Yeah, we didn't look like scoring in the second half. We got absolutely creamed. Do we have to wait until January's season to buy Jordan James? I think we can buy him, Terry, if everything's matched in his contract. I was talking to his uncle at Bristol City, Jordan James's uncle, and he says he's very happy at Leicester. 4.4 million is what we can sign him for, Terry. And yeah, I'd snap it up. I'd have 11 Jordan Jameses in this Leicester team. The fight, the passion, the desire. Wears that shirt with pride, Jordan James. And what a player. This is what we want to see from players, though, isn't it, Terry? We want to see players with a better fight about them. This is what the fans like to see, a team that's committed, who will give everything out on the pitch. And if we do lose, then we'd say, okay, well, at least you tried. But it's when they play absolutely crap, and then you think, oh, this ain't it. You know, close game, 1-0 leave away. I'm not happy because Jordan James he's not injured. He did have a little bit of a problem in that Bristol City game, but Marty says he's fine. Leicester City 1, Ipswich 1. I think I'd put down for 3-1 Leicester. How is Aaron Ramsey's injury? Aaron Ramsey is back in training, by the way. He is back in training, so it'd be good to see Harry Souttar back in there again soon as well in the team. Anyone know what's going on with Monga? I believe he's injured, from what got reported. When did JJ get injured? He didn't get injured on the pitch, did he? I think he sort of felt something, Michael, on the pitch against Bristol City in the first half. I think that's maybe what it was. Marty sort of discussed it afterwards of why he brought him off. But yeah, I didn't see it as a more of a tactical, but to replace Jordan James or Patson Daka, you've got to go like for like in that situation. So I personally would have gone Ricardo for Jordan James and put Hamza in the midfield and put Ricardo at right back. I think we'd have been more stability. It'd have brought more leadership on the pitch, because against Bristol City, when things got tough and we fell apart second half, we had no leader to pick us up and say, you know what, boys, we've got this. We've got to take this game by the scruff of its neck. None of them knew what the roles was. And some of them running around like bloody headless chickens. I'll be fair. If you lose tomorrow, I'm going to make Callum. Well, that's it. Guys, hit the like button. Yeah, Terry, I agree, mate. Does he offer anything in many of the games? I wouldn't say so. He scored 1 this season, and apparently he's the world's best striker again. Make it make sense. I don't know, Terry. I wouldn't say we're going to miss him, to be fair, when he goes to the AFCON. If we could sign Michail Antonio, I think he's a proven player who can score goals, you know. So, guys, if you've not subscribed to The Final Whistle, please get down and do so. It'd help us out massively if you can do that. I'd appreciate it. There's 27 of you in. Hit that like button as well. There's 10 likes. So if we can get 50 likes on this live, that'd be appreciated. Fancy taking Guay offers, asking, no, I'm all right. It's like saying, do you want to buy Patson Daka, Katie? You'd probably say no. Antonio would be great, yeah. What's everyone thinking regarding team tomorrow? How many players come out from the Bristol City team? Who would you like to see in? Because Mavididi, I think he's upped his game a bit, which I like to see. There's a lot more about Mavididi at this minute in time. Obviously, Oliver Skip, he's been under a lot of criticism, and with obviously the price tag. But you look at the price tag with Oliver Skip and you say, yeah, but that's the club. That's not him. He knows he's not a £25 million player, Oliver Skip, you know. And the thing is, he comes under a lot of scrutiny, but he puts in some decent performances more than any other players on that pitch. A lot of the time. He tries. Can Daka score goals? I don't even think that's a question what needs answering, Katie. I think Leicester win, but I think it might be, Ricardo to start over Hamza. There is no leadership in the Leicester team. That's why we lost a lot of games. That's the thing. And Azola, I think it's a mentality issue as well, where Marty sees us winning at half-time, and he's like, I don't need to change anything here. Just go and see the game out, boys. Just, you know, we'll counter-attack these teams. You sit back and let them come at you. But then it pushes us back to go and we make mistakes, and then he's getting out for because they're making the right substitutions and that. This is the issue we've got here, Azola, where we've led so many games at home this season, 1-0, and then we just throw it away somehow. And you're like, how have you managed that? But then it's like, oh, it's Leicester City, and of course it is. Of course it is. We can't seem to do the basics. We can't seem to go and get a second goal when it matters. And it's frustrating as hell. It really is. That we throw away these points. It's like Christmas is coming soon, so someone's going to get gifted somewhere. Do you know what, Terry? Jake Evans, I'd get him in. I'd give him a bit more game time, you know. Ray, good to see you in, mate. Hope you're good. Stick together, yeah. It's sad that a player like Skip stands about because he's tried so hard. That kind of effort should be more common in the team. I agree. Skips can be very hit and miss, can't he? You know, he can play a one good game and then he'll go missing for a bit. But then I sort of find recently that against Derby, he were fantastic. He were there, every effing where, Ollie Skip. And what a performance against Derby. He obviously got that goal, took it well. And I thought he had a fantastic game. Best ever game I've seen him in a Leicester shirt, Ollie Skip. Against Bristol City, he were everywhere again in that first half. He were good. Very good again. But then, let's talk about Bobby Reid. Bobby Reid, very good championship player, in my opinion. Experienced, can do it at this level. I spoke to Bristol City fans on Wednesday night about Bobby Reid. They said they loved him at Cardiff, Fulham, Bristol City. Bobby Reid, for me, he's very good in that number 10 role. I think he's been good. I don't think he's ball foot wrong. He shows that passion, that effort. Someone who's willing to do things to get the right result. Obviously, he scored on Wednesday night against Bristol City. 2 goals in 2 for him. Bit more confidence for Bobby Reid. And I think we're starting to take to him, aren't we, you know? It wasn't quite cutting it, the mustard in the Prem. But this season in the Championship, since he's come back from his injury, he's really been a real key player, a real cog in that midfield diamond 3. Hopefully Suter is back soon, as him and Nelson would be a great partnership. Do you know what? Harry Suter was fantastic at Sheffield United. They talk about him quite highly. They say if he didn't get injured, he probably would have got Defender of the Year that season when he'd come back from injury. But I think Suter's a very good defender. I think he'll offer something in that defence. Him and Ben Nelson could do something in the Championship. But it's about finding the right balance, the right team. And regarding Antonio, good to see we are looking to the future. Well, it'll be a short-term thing, Tony. Good to see you in as always, mate. It's going to be a short-term thing. A short-term fix, I'd say, is what I'd call it. But he is someone who's proven in front of goal. So we can't knock him for that. Will he come back the same player? We'll see. Because Michail Antonio, every time he played against Leicester, he bloody score against us. So it's about time he probably signed here and we'd celebrate his goals for us and not bloody booing him when he scores against us and getting annoyed. Skip, James and Bobby have all looked a bit leggy against Bristol City. But that's what you get when you carry. Bless me. I do apologise. We need Suter 4 clean sheets in 2025. We'll be looking in the Veterans League next for our future signings. Well, you know what we're like. I want to see Daka Mavadidi, Fatawu, Louis Page, Jordan James, Aluko, Ben Nelson, Vestergaard, Luke Thomas and Jakub. This is my lineup for tomorrow's game. Why are we only a 45-minute side? Cheers, Ray. Why are we a 45-minute side? Ask Marty why we're a 45-minute side. Because I think that book falls at the manager. I do. You know, we play well for 45 minutes. We yet to see a 90-minute performance. And this is what annoys me to bits, that he says the same thing in the same post matches every single time. He's not fixing that problem. He talks about it, but there's no substance to anything he says, in my opinion. Against Bristol City, poor game management, poor tactical, really substance that, and I'll criticise it because that's exactly what it was, you know. With football, you say it as you see it, you know, and you don't beat around the bush when you constructive criticism on certain things. Looking for a great football outfit. 45-minute manager, knowing us, would give Michail Antonio a 3-year deal on 70 grand a week. They're on a bit of a fair whack. It's at West Ham, by the way. But again, in the Championship, you know, you can't expect wages like that. Well, obviously, we've bloody been paying quite a lot of big wages out for to these teams, haven't we? Which this is why we're in this mess. Okay, it isn't going nowhere. Yeah. The thing is with Leicester is when you're a manager, and obviously people look at this whole dynamic, don't they, of when managers take jobs, this might not be the best mentality side to ever come into. You know, it's a poor job to come into. Of course it is, because of the situations on and off the pitch, the squad, the board, whatever, right? As a manager, whatever the scenario is, you still got to go in that job and get the best out of your squad. That's exactly what you've got to do. Get the best out of your squad. If you can't get the best out of that team and find something that works, then that book falls at your feet. That's exactly how I put it on Wednesday night. With Wednesday night's second half performance, where he's got tactically outfought by Gerard Struber, the Bristol City coach. Gerard Struber made it tactically better than what Marty did. Marty's been outfought many times this season with his tactical finesse, should we call it. And I find that he struggles to do these things, to adapt it. With QPR, when he were at QPR, he had to be pragmatic because of the squad that he's got. With this Leicester team, it's a far better squad than QPR's, but it's not proving that. It's not picking up the points it should be picking up. It's there's so much wrong. Don't forget, we're not the first club he's trained with. Tomorrow is an absolute must-win. 4 points from 2 away games is not bad, but after the second half at Bristol City, we need 3 points, and it's the first Ipswich game since Vardy left. It is the same Jamie Vardy who scored against Ipswich last season to get his 200th Leicester City goal. Did he pick the team at QPR? He did, yeah. Yeah, he did. He did pick the team at QPR. He fell out with the board at QPR. I think that's why he ended up leaving Marty in the end. So, yeah, obviously went on gardening leave, didn't he, Marty, when he were at QPR. And, yeah, I think he wanted to take the West Brom job. And he were out without being at QPR for like a couple of months or whatever it was. And obviously he has paid his way to be here. Of course he has. But if he got sacked, he's going to get more money than what he paid to be here. He's going to get probably double, maybe triple of what he paid to come here. So, I don't know. How old is Antonio? I think he's got to be mid-30s. If we lose tomorrow, does Marty get the January transfer? That's even if there's any, though, Terry. And this is what I speak about with the January transfer window. PSR is a big problem at this minute in time. We don't know the outcome to the hearing. So maybe just they'll see when the hearing comes of the decision. They're sort of expecting it at the end of December, start of Jan. So what is the verdict going to be? Is it a transfer embargo? Is it a points deduction? Is it both? Is it a fine? There's 3 different scenarios. Obviously, there's 3 charges here, aren't there? There's 3 different charges, and obviously they've got to look at each one, haven't they? So, but this is where we look at could we send Carranza back in January and sign a better player? If we don't get a transfer, obviously a ban and whatever. Where is the football director? What a technical one. I don't believe he's going to be taking it till the end of January. Sorry. I don't think he'll be in place till the end of January, till after the transfer window's finished. So it's no good. The decision will be pushed to the end of Jan so we can't attract any players. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be spending in January. I think it'll be loans again, or free agents at best. If you're looking at a midfielder for a permanent deal, you would like to sign Jordan James for an option to buy after an impressive loan spell earlier this season. Yeah, I'd sign Jordan James on a permanent basis. I'd like to build the team around him. I agree, Jack. I honestly think the money's got to go to good use in signing Jordan James on a permanent deal before other teams start sniffing around. So it's an interesting take on that one. But we've got to be looking at areas we need to strengthen, because we seem to be wafer thin in midfield areas, in defence. Can't see JJ playing a full game tomorrow. No, I don't think he'll play a full game either. I think he'll change it. But would you like to see Hayden Hackney from Middlesbrough? I've heard of Hayden Hackney. He'll come nowhere near Leicester City. I think he's a Premier League player to be coming. Hayden Hackney for Middlesbrough. He's had a fantastic season. And for Leicester, yeah, we ain't going to sign players like that. Guys, hit that like button for us. It'd be appreciated. 17 likes on this stream. We've set 50 likes on it. So if you can all hit that like button, there's 37 of you in. Appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed already to the final whistle, please get down and do so. It'd help me out massively if you can do that. Yeah, keep getting your questions in. We're going to be here for another, should we do another 15 minutes? Potentially 15. Everyone be happy with that. Are you going Cheltenham in the FA Cup? Yes, I am. I remember Cheltenham. I went there in 2008. 4-goal win for the Foxes. Lloyd Dyer played for us then. Matty Fryer, Matt Oakley, Andy King. Yeah, do you know what? We haven't played them in like competition-wise for a long time. Cheltenham. Are you Martin or Al? Do you know what? I want to see him do well, but I just don't think he's the man for the job. I don't. And people will sit there and say, yeah, but he's not had a transfer window and that, but you still got to get the best out of what you've got as a team. This team, it's got quality. Of course it has, but I don't think this is a team. It just feels very much individuals. You've got Fatawa, you've got Mavadidi, you've got Jordan James, Ben Nelson's good. Best Leicester fan channel. Appreciate that, mate. Ross, why are you blue, by the way? Is it because you moderator? Is his own worst enemy. I agree, Ross. I agree with that. The magic of he did. Fryer, another former Forest. Tottenham versus Aston Villa is a great FA Cup game to watch. Where it was alive when we bloody won it. I agree with that. Would you take Michael Carrick? Do you know what? Right. I do honestly think sometimes that Marty is out of his depth at Leicester. I do. This seems like a bloody firefighter's job. You know. Maybe if he come next summer when it's a rebuild, then he'd be perfect for it, maybe. But right at this minute in time, I just feel he's out of his depth, in my opinion. This is the situation we find ourselves in, to be fair. Michael Carrick wouldn't be a bad shout, to be fair. I'd be surprised if Ross subscribed. He's got to save money for a spud. Carrick wouldn't come to us. Yeah. No, I agree. The thing is what? The thing is we can't keep sacking managers. This is we don't want to turn into a Watford, in my opinion. It's a really difficult situation, and I get how disappointing and depressing it can be at times with the whole everything that's happening at the club, how stressful and blah blah blah. Imagine if we won the FA Cup again, Stephen, mate. Don't give me hope. Don't give me hope, mate. Don't give me hope, mate. I'll get out the bookies in the morning and put it on. Who expected us to win the FA Cup that year? I remember being at Wembley, Stephen, that game, Chelsea. What a goal. Yuri Tielemans in front of the Leicester fans. That is one of the best goals I've ever seen. Honestly, one of them. It was great. Scenes, absolute scene. And when Ben Chilwell's goal went in and he celebrated, then they ruled it out for VAR as offside, I laughed. Couldn't make it up, could you? What a storybook ending that was. And Leicester winning the FA Cup. But this is it. A lot's happened since. We have had a decline, if you want to call it that, and because that is what it is. And remember Lillian Nallis versus Leeds? I do remember Lillian Nallis versus Leeds. Great goal. Great goal. There's a lot of goals we can obviously talk about. Steve Harwood versus Leeds. Yeah. There's a lot we can actually discuss regarding goals. What is everyone's favourite goal? Obviously, I know it's a bit off topic for the Antonio thing that we was discussing, but what's everyone's favourite Leicester goal? If you had to choose one, that Yakubu goal at Derby was phenomenal. I was there. The way he just takes that and then puts it top corner. Ah, Vardy versus Liverpool. Yeah, what a great finish. Tielemans. Is it against Grimsby? Oh, Sammy Schmodic's last day of the season. Katie, what are you doing in here? What are you doing in here? Coming here and talking about your team, mate. It's a Leicester City chat. We're not here. You know, you coming here, Katie, giving it a big one about, oh, Sammy Schmodic scored last game of the season. Give it a rest. Do you know what? You've upset us this season already, Katie. Do you know what? We seem to struggle against Blackburn at the KP. It ain't good. It ain't good. To be fair. But no. It's fascinating. Guys, tap that like button, by the way. 22 likes now. So we're nearly halfway. Got any best or worst signings for Leicester? Oh, yeah. Jesus. Junior Lewis. I swear his passport said Brazil. One of the worst signings I've ever seen. Matt Mills. Moose against Sheffield United. But I'm going to let 3 odds out. Rand fans are on the pitch. Steve Claridge versus Palace. Jan Kermorgant, mate. That guy should never be mentioned again. Ever. That was one of the worst penalties I've ever seen. Absolutely shocking penalty. I don't know what was going through his head at that time. But Adi Akinbaye were bad, yeah. Well, this is it, you see. We've seen some doom and gloom at Leicester with players. What we've spent a lot of money on. Need to do a Mount Rushmore again. Yeah. Is that best or worst signing for Okazaki is one of our best signings. He were great. Love Shinji to bits. But this is it. You see? It's what we do best. It is what we do best sometimes. Some of the signings have been absolutely piss poor, should we call it. But we've seen some good signings. Matt Elliott, Steve Walsh, Jerry Taggart, Neil Lennon, Steve Claridge. You know, we've seen some good signings. Jamie Vardy, Riyad Mahrez, N'Golo Kante, Kasper Schmeichel. We've done some business. We've done some business. Mark Albrighton, Esteban Cambiasso on a free agent, Ross. I loved Okazaki. How would you rate Slimani? Slimani, for me, we never played to his strengths. That was my only frustration with Slim. Uncle Slim Shady. It frustrated me. When you get it on his head, he'd score 9 times out of 10. But he's not a player you can play ball to the feet. I mean, he scored the absolute blinder of a goal against Danny Ward when Danny Ward played for Liverpool in the Cup, if everyone remembers that. Mark Albrighton, great signing. Great signing, especially on a free. We've had some great signings over the years for Leicester. But like I say, we've had some good managers and we've had some shocking managers. Harry Kane was a great signing for me. Harry Kane were on loan at Leicester. I think he only scored about 2 goals for the club. We could have signed him. Tim Sherwood were on about it. They was actually going to sell Harry Kane to Leicester that summer after he'd gone back to Tottenham. But it's an interesting. Robert Huth, great signing again. Yeah. Right, so we've got 1 minute. 1 minute left on this then. Guys, tap that screen. I mean, hit that like button, by the way. I'm bloody acting like this is TikTok. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you haven't subscribed already. Really appreciate everyone coming in tonight. It's been a 40-minute show. Andy King, worst manager we've ever had. There's a fair few. Tatapila, Peter Taylor. Bloody hell. We've obviously we've had a fair few worst managers in our time. Love your chat. Appreciate it, mate. Paulo Sousa. Oh, dire. Absolutely dire. Ruud van Nistelrooy's in there and all, actually. Then we've had good managers. Nigel Pearson, Martin O'Neill. We've obviously had some great managers. Do you think he'll play tomorrow? Who are we on about? Who are we on about? Who are we on about playing tomorrow? Which one, Steve? Antonio, no. No, I don't think he'll play tomorrow, mate. But no, thank you everyone for coming in. Really appreciate it. We're going to end it here. Smash that like button. We set 50 likes on this, by the way. So before I end this live, I want you to all hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and you're a Leicester fan and just love talking football. Then I really appreciate everyone. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a great rest of the evening, whatever you're up to. Up the Foxes. And we take on Ipswich tomorrow. Let's see.